Hey everybody, welcome back to our Stoneface Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here watching some Gundam seed today. We got some comments here, so let's see what people got to say. We got 70Q from the Patreon on the episode Its Name, Gundam. They say, the mech have multiple camera capturing different objects from surroundings, so Kira just saw his friends in the Gundam. Tracking humans is reasonable to me when there is nothing else to capture in that camera, I guess. Like popping out a sub-tab zooming in different targets. Accidentally step on some civilians without precautions could cause some headache to the authorities, you know? Hurts nothing to include such action in the system, and such weapon can be designed in casual mode and combat mode, so large weapon can focus on different things between these modes under different circumstances. I think those Gundams are under development, but zaft have the intel and ambush that supposed well-covered colonial, well-covered kernel suddenly. Then could use some reverse engineering of the future. They probably think it might be harder to steal when they are completed and kept in a safer place, and of course, no point in to stay when your aim is to steal the Gundams. Don't see any big contradictions to me. By the way, Kira and his friends is computer-related students, and he is especially is good at it. In the cockpit, he just noticed the system is not yet tuned, or many settings are blank, if you will, so he quickly set up roughly instead of that technician-looking woman who seems not that good at it. Maybe that particular Gundam is the last one to deal with because it's a little bit special compared to the other four. As you can see, it is designed to handle different types of weapon modules. There we go. We actually have the answer for why it's so weird. Kira is using inverted controls. I think that's just canon now.
Well, I mean, I think they said something about that in the last two episodes. About it, like, being the last one to be worked on or something.
Mm-hmm. Right. Last one to be worked on wasn't quite ready yet. The other one seemed more complete and they were more ready to go, just out the
Well, I
box.
mean, of course, also, it's the one that our protagonist is in, which means it must be the most special of all the Gundams. Because that's the way that
Very.
works. There's either one Gundam and it's the most specialist Gundam of all, or there's multiple Gundams and the one the hero rides in is the specialist.
Yeah. As far as the cameras, we had like a bit of a camera debate last time, and so I'm thinking a little bit on it, right? So the primary thing tanks are vulnerable to is literally infantry. You don't send in a tank completely alone. You need people covering it. So a
Arguably,
person popping out of nowhere with an RPG is the greatest threat to it,
I would
right?
say arguably a tank is most vulnerable to an air force.
That is also true, but we're also on the space station. I think
Literally, we
detection
see
systems for it, there's a
Griffin.
person over here
Griffin,
is
we
good,
have
is what I'm
watched
saying.
fighter jets in this show, so I
Uh-huh.
don't know what you're talking about. Their main form of
I'm making a
defense.
case for why it's a good idea.
I mean, also, you said we had a debate about it. We did. We both just laughed. We both laughed and carried on.
I can hype up our talks a little bit if I want to. No one said I can't.
Look, we did. We in our seed thing at the moment anyway, because we're gonna go back to doing one episode at a time with seed.
Mhm.
For the time being, it's been every like two episodes where we have a debate, and not even a debate, like just talking about things. Between then,
That's
it's
what we're
just
here. We're supposed to.
laughing. Yeah, no, it's just a thing when we do a couple of shows at a time in one
Mhm.
sitting, is that we have the one episode where we have everything from the past to think about, and then the next episode, all we got is what we're walking in with. So,
Right. Next comment, though, also from Soda from the episode Collapsing Land. They say, Ryan Moo's self-talking case is
wow.
real as they can sense something, but still it doesn't even need to be the new type or some telepathy or what to behave like this. I believe when people play some online games, they could meet those characters or clans which they always in rival with. Most of them could say something to themselves during the fight, right? At least once, right? About piloting hand-and-leg controls with those decisions making like power output and trigger of what weapon system you are currently at. Mech's precise movement of finger, using a weapon, walking with both legs, etc. Of course, is handled by computer procedures. Kira tweaked the OS to suit his logic, so the Mech's OS, which is supposed to be used by Natural, is now not suitable for Mu to handle in a short time. Ramus at least understand how to command the crew. No a single one can fucking knows the whole ship, okay? Since she is one of those in charge of G weapons, and those weapons are supposed assigned with the Archangel ship, you can expect she knows a little bit about the ship, but since she is not a captain, she's going to go ahead and play with the ship systems a bit, along with those crews. At least the moment Mu is a fighter pilot, not matter what rank he is, while Ramus is not a pilot, and her rank is high enough to command a group of crew in a ship, but she is not the original captain. I guess. These above you can figure out yourselves, and no show is going to tell every single thing's right.
I think this is the most interesting comment that we've possibly ever gotten from Subject. Mind you,
Oh yeah?
maybe put it right next to the whole what is a cult and the wildness of human imagination from before, but I find this to be the most interesting because I think this is the most pissed off I can think of a Septicue quote ever being, because we're reading someone's anger through broken English and then retranslation, right?
And then of course I say it, and I have no emotion
Well,
here.
this
So.
is the first time we've ever gotten a fucking from Septicue, right? And it's like, where is it right there? Oh god, where did they say?
Good question.
It's a brick of text, so just, I mean, when you put it in context,
Not everyone fucking knows how it works. Yeah.
yeah.
First
That's emphasis that they're putting on it. They could have just said, "Not everyone knows how it works." I was like, okay, sure. Not everyone fucking knows how it works. That's emphasis, and they add that to the those above you can figure out yourselves, and no show is going to tell every single thing's right. That put that with those two things together. That's frustration from our person. I don't know. Sorry, our person Sevdq. That is amazing. Chef's kiss. I love it. I mean, I don't agree with it.
The three things we targeted here, though, like what interests you?
I don't agree with it at all, by the way, because obviously we are here and we are above the show, overlay-wise, and we are figuring it out. So, yeah, I'm expecting the show to tell me everything because I don't live in that world, right? I don't have the, you're role-playing, right? You have to
the narrator is our eyes and ears into it. If they don't
when
tell us something, we
when
can
you're
only
playing
guess,
a role-playing game, you don't live in the fantasy world. You have to have the DM tell you everything, or I don't know, pull out a fucking book, right? Otherwise, if they don't tell you, you don't know. So the show is responsible for telling me all the fucking things. So,
I think the one I want to latch onto here is people can still just shout things at each other even if they can't hear each other, because I do that all the time when I'm driving. When I see someone who decides that they want to abruptly change lane around me, get directly in front of me, and then change to the opposite lane, I start going a little crazy and asking what the hell they're doing. I know they can't hear me, but I still have to ask, why didn't you just change to the other lane in the first place?
I think it's one of my favorite comedy sketches of the guy shouting at his car, "You don't know how to drive?" And the guy looks out and he's like, "I don't know how any of this works. I'm scared." But yeah, no, I mean, it's the way it's presented in the show is that it flashes to one person, back to the other person, as though they're communicating. So you have no idea if there is a fucking radio happening right now or not.
It's classily dramatic is what I would generally call it. I think I did last time. But also, hey, maybe that's why they ended going with direct telepathy in Double O at some point. They're just like, we're already halfway there.
There's also the facet of the fact that if you're playing a game and you're yelling at your computer screen about the person that you're playing against and you're not directly communicating, there's the probability is that you're overlapping with them yelling about you or something else, so that if you played it all in sequence, it would just be a cacophony of people's overlapping voices. And then if you were to separate that out to try and put it in like chronological order, you would confuse people because you'd think those two people were having a conversation.
We don't get the moments where Kira is like in the Gundam, looks over at someone, shouts, and just shakes his fist, going, "Get off the road!" But those are our comments here. I suppose let's go over to the comment board and Theta thoughts next. How
You
about
mean
that?
concept board?
Concept board.
A
Right.
comment board, that'd be weird. I don't even know how we
Hey,
get
everyone,
people
post your
over there.
comments up on the board.
The board is the
So-
space underneath the video, by the way, in case you needed.
So I believe sort of the big thing we're seeing that we kind of got last time is the primary crew kind of forming here between everyone who actually has a job.
Yeah, trying to get organized. I've obviously reorganized everything to try to make it more concise.
Mhm.
I've also established the relationships between the characters here.
Right.
And tried-
Akira is only associated with his friend group as far as it goes here.
Well, I mean, like, these two held hands in an emergency. Nobody else did that. These two were passing notes to one another. That's another thing.
They're all besties. They're all in a friend group, you know? We may as well just draw, like, yeah, all these people have just, like, this full interconnected web here.
Well, not all of them. That's what I'm saying, is these two specifically. And they're all connected to him.
Well,
I've
if
also
everybody
tried to
is-
start keeping track of who's a coordinator and who's a natural.
Well, let's think about it like this, right? Everyone here is paired up. We have Sai and Flay, we have Tole and Miralia. So that just leaves Kira and Kuze as, like, the final pair then, right?
Well, no, I mean, you could have a polycule, I guess. Also, these could just be
yeah, we
burgeoning
totally...
romances, but not full-fledged relationships.
We got Kira, Kuze, and Birdie. There we go. That's our... Still, I believe that is about where we stand. We have two actually reasonably solid military structures. But I suppose the thing is, like, we have an entire ship, like, over here, and we have nobody for it. The only thing we have is Strike Group and Char.
You got a potato ship? What are you building here?
Yeah, it's a potato ship. Here, we're gonna have, like, the cannon here now, and then we can have, like, the Bridgeport, and we can have, like, a person in here, right?
I did, on the Universal Century board, put ships down. That's because, you know, if you remember before, I kind of had this whole center thing going on with just all the lines connecting into a dot in the middle. Well, I put a ship over the dot and just named the ship to represent
That's honestly probably a really good way to do that. If there's a lot of people and they're all related together in a structure, and the structure is around the ship, just put the ship down.
Well, because it just seemed odd, because, you know, then I'm going to start putting Gundams down and who's piloting the Gundam. And it's like, I'm trying to keep track of
Gundam's
people.
not like, you're not going to fit multiple people in there, right?
Why not?
Well, only because we're not watching Pacific Rim.
Well, I mean,
That's
you
the
can
only
fit at
reason.
least, I would imagine you could fit at least 3 people into a Gundam.
Oh, we fit at least 2 in, like, episode 2, so,
there's
you know, it's
room.
possible.
There's always room in the lap, and I assume that's just comfort room. I can comfortably fit one person in my lap, but what if I evacuate somebody, right? I can fit at least another person, like one on one leg and one on the other leg. I wouldn't be able to drive that well, but, you know.
The funny thing is that does make it roomier than a tank. So, that's our concept board right
Arguable,
here.
because a tank can hold many more people.
Right, but that's our concept board right here. We got all of our characters down. Theta, do you got any thoughts that we want to go over?
You had no comments about the natural coordinator thing. All right.
Oh, I figured that was just going to be in part of our thoughts here.
No, I've literally I told you I put it on each character. Anyway.
Oh yeah, no, that is a good idea. Though I guess most of them are going to be naturals.
Well, I have no idea. That's my point. I have no idea.
Good. Okay.
And no comment about the only dead guy either. All right.
Oh, well, I mean, you know, Miguel deserved it, right?
Gundam stands for General Unilateral Neuralink Dispersive Autonomic Maneuver, which is just bullshit. This is the stupidest version of Gundam I've ever heard.
So, someone had to figure this out, and I I am not jealous of everyone who has to actually fill in an acronym accurately, because I'd give up halfway.
Well, they made
Just
it.
cut it off the screen.
They made it an acronym. There was no reason to make it an acronym. They chose to be stupid.
Mm-hmm. I guess that's actually a funny thing that we'll get around to the origin why Gundam, but we'll get back to that, I suppose.
I mean, we haven't anywhere else.
Yeah,
Literally,
yeah.
it's just the fact we had gun in front of other things before.
Well,
Gun,
everywhere
tank.
else has it because it's like, oh, all of our other series did it, right?
No, Universal Century, they just called it a Gundam for no reason. And again, it was always gun in front of something. It's gun tank, gun cannon. And now it's gun dumb? What? What's dumb? I don't know. What's
Maybe
dumb
just
with
person, gun person.
Well, I mean, gun suit, I guess, would be the thing, because it's a mobile suit. Because you wouldn't call it a gun mobile, you would call it a gun suit. But then that doesn't make sense either, because, you know, what the fuck is a gun suit? Well, I guess the Iron Cavalry could be a gun suit. Because they're just giant cannons on the arms, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Doing a rewatch of the last 2 episodes, I rather liked some of the music score. Like the song that plays in the opening moments of the 2nd episode, I found highly reminiscent of the Eagles song, Journey of the Sorcerer, from the 1975, can't remember the name of the album, which was also used as the theme tune to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think, now that I'm, like, in the middle of rewatching this, I'm just digging the music. I really do. Like, this is apparently just my nostalgia bubble here. That and, like, Gundam Wing, obviously.
Well, as I've always said, I'm typically not hearing the music as clearly as anyone else, so if nobody mentions the music, blame it on Griff.
Yeah.
So I guess Phase Shift armor is an answer to melee attacks, as Atherin points out that it makes them impervious to saber attacks. We see that they still push it around, but other than some sparks, it seems relatively undamaged by it. I have no idea what enhanced ASPV is, but Rao tries to kill Kira's friends on the ground, and his shots bounce off the Gundam. He mentions that not even they seem to work on the phase armor.
Right. So far, when we watched IBO, we had like nano laminate. The double O, we had like the solar particles that apparently just let them deflect everything.
Wing has Gundanium.
Yeah, Wing has Gundanium. Classic Gundam series. This is why we have our plot armor, because they have literal armor.
I still get some people just keep saying Gundanium is like just moon armor or something like that. And they say it's not all that strong or anything, but it's so strong, in fact, that the only way to destroy the Gundams was to throw them into the sun. So possibly that they're stronger than you think.
I remember in the middle of Gundam Wing, everybody like gets captured. They step out, and Hero's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and blow this all up," and he has charges everywhere, and he blows himself up in the process, and his Gundam just falls over. There's no damage.
Yeah, the armor is so strong that it'll blow up the internals, but the the armor bits just hold together.
Hero, the guy willing to take everyone down with him, cannot take his Gundam down, even after specific planning.
Yeah, so for me, Gundanium is always the best armor. The GN particles you mentioned from Double O, that's a different thing. That's like having a shield. The shield is obviously the strongest thing.
Right, it has more of a specifically stated weak point somewhere in there where it runs out of energy eventually.
Right. But we should probably ditch on this because I don't want to get the technical commenters out here. I was making fun of the sudden camera shots from inside the Gundam showing Kira, his friends, for no reason at all, but it does serve to mirror the whole Minovsky death scene from the origin, where a falling mobile suit crushes him. Seed's answer to this is a camera system that acts like a rear view alert when cars are backing up and about to hit something. Look out! People are behind your feet.
Hey, yeah, it's ahead of its time. I got I got a car right now that can do that.
Yeah, well, again, this is supposed to be the improved version of Universal Century stuff. So, what happened
Yeah.
to Minovsky? I don't know. Let's make sure that doesn't happen again.
Have you seen like the any shorts or videos about like, plane systems that if like you're too close will just literally continue to shout like ground close alert, pilot pull up just like constantly, will not shut up, trying to get your attention to not crash.
Yeah, that's been in video games forever.
Yeah, exactly. So like I'm imagining that for the Gundam. Like as soon as you're getting close to a building, it'll start shouting. It's like, "Hey, what are you doing? You're about to hit the building."
You had said he was such a good pilot because he designed the program that the Gundam uses.
Hmm.
But in the second episode, it looks like he just reprograms the entire thing. Same as Athrun moments earlier. Athrun stumbles around in his Gundam, and when the other mobile suit pilots ask him why he hasn't left yet, he pulls out the keyboard and starts programming, just like Kira does later. In the
Hmm.
third episode, Kuzi mentions that he rewrote the OS as well, and that it's unlikely he had any previous knowledge of it.
Right. So again, super programming superpowers.
Well, what I'm doing here is I'm debunking the fact that you said he wrote the OS, and that the show is telling us that he didn't write the OS.
Right. We're narrowing down on specifically what he did, which like 70Q said, he just filled in the blanks and put on inverted
Well,
controls.
specifically, one character says that he rewrote the OS, and a separate character says he didn't have any previous experience with it,
Hmm.
which suggests that he didn't make the OS.
But that's what rewriting it in the moment would mean, right?
No, that he did. No. Okay, if you sit down at your computer, Griff, realize it's not working, and rewrite Windows,
Yeah.
does not mean that you have had any previous experience with Windows. That no, I mean
But I
obviously,
did rewrite the OS. I
right,
built a
right,
brand new one.
right. You understand the difference though, because it seems like you don't, because you keep arguing.
I feel perhaps this is just a terminology pendantry kind of thing right
No,
now.
it's not. Okay, you're having a problem with Windows 10, right? You did not write Windows 10. But you're
Sure.
having a problem with Windows 10. You sit down at your computer, you rewrite Windows into Windows 11. You did not
Yeah.
create Windows 10. Windows 10 is not your creation. You rewrote Windows into Windows 11. Those are two
Right.
different
The
things.
new thing you wrote is the thing you created, right?
Right.
So he created an OS.
No, yeah, you said he created the OS. Not
the one that's being used.
No. You're changing the definitions, Griff.
I'm gonna go ahead and write down the definition of the. Let's go ahead and start with that.
All right,
Next
Bill Clinton. Didn't work for him, ain't working for... I guess it did work for him. He didn't get impeached. I'm just saying, you said he wrote the OS. He rewrote the OS. The original OS was not his creation. According to two different people in the show. We joked about LaFlaga and Rao, whatever, faking sensing one another in the fight scene. But, sorry, what is his name?
Rao
the Crest?
Yeah, so we
Crusette?
can just call it Rao. Yeah.
But Rao literally calls out LaFlaga before even joining the battle. Then LaFlaga calls out Rao the moment he gets attacked, all before the flash scene we joked about.
I guess they both know each other well, which is kind of the impression the show wants to at least give, right?
Well, it's more so that they knew each other was on the battlefield, and it's not sort of a, they're not sensing one another. They already fucking knew the other one was there. They're literally yelling at the other guy, like having a giant name tag above your ship, right? Like you're in a video game. They knew each one was there. They're not like power sensing one another. They're literally calling out what's in front of them.
It's like getting to your ship and just going, it's like, I bet that asshole's out there again.
Well, it's that thing like in Star Trek, wherever, where they can just ping any vessel in the universe and know that's the name of the vessel. This is who it belongs to. All that stuff.
Yeah, IFF, I suppose, which I don't know if we're going to get into that in this show.
Well, was that in the last Universal Century Gundam one? They've literally mentioned IFF in that one. I know in Star Trek it's not IFF because literally I think there's like a Cardassian guy on the bridge once, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the Cardassian ship. It's a color class." Blah, blah, blah. He's like, "How do you fucking know so much about our ships?" So it's not simple like identification frequency shit.
Right.
So you were answering a question. And you did.
I'm sorry, there was a question somewhere there.
No, you said it was the whole.
I guess I remember mentioning IFF when we were watching Origins. I know IBO definitely featured IFF a whole bunch, if I recall right.
Maybe it was the last episode of Origin then. I think it's either when Char's vessel is approaching White Base or when Dozel's ship is approaching the Tiananmen or Rebel fleet.
Yeah.
No, or the scout ship that our boy Ryu gets destroyed flying away from. Trying to identify if he's flying up on hostile forces or allied forces.
Right, because they can't tell anything because of the radiation. They have to get up close to it, and then they're too close.
Yeah, but I believe they specifically mentioned IFF in that scene. LaFlaga's little fighter jet thing seemed to have primitive gun bits as weaponry. I have to wonder when we will see the original gun bit in the series. And by series, I mean all of Gundam, not just this series.
Yeah.
Because otherwise that would be this, and this whole comment would be redundant. I guess it will come somewhere in the Universal Century timeline, but so far I think this is the earliest example of one that we've seen in our watching at 2002, as the ones we see in Witch from Mercury were the most recent, and even Double O's was from 2005.
I guess a drone warfare as a political issue would have to be post 2000s in general. So 2002 sounds like the closest that we're going to really get to that. I don't think there's could be anything before that because that we weren't thinking about it.
Well, you're saying as an issue. That doesn't mean that some sci-fi writer isn't going to get imaginative. It doesn't have to be the political, we're bombing schools in Iraq with our inaccurate drone strikes. It could just be, what's a cool weapon to put on a humanoid fighting machine?
But the more that I see the past ones and the future ones that we've seen, I can see the line of they increasingly add more and more of these drone things because modern combat is more and more defined by drone warfare.
Specifically, Witch from Mercury has the whole drone wars thing.
IBO also had the Terminator robot wars, which again, really wish we could see that. But
I don't know. That seems more like a von Neumann sort of thing than it is a drone situation.
I gotta explain it.
I mean, maybe an earlier hunt.
Yeah.
I have to give it up to Rao for doing what most antagonists don't, recognizing the threat early and trying to do something about it. He gets the report that one of the Gundams wasn't captured, and that Miguel failed to stop it and needed help. So he goes out himself to handle the situation. Maybe not great that he pulled I'll handle this myself, considering the number of forces he had available to command. But at least it shows initiative.
Right. He's supposed to, in the narrative, obviously, this is the moment where he shows off that he's the cool special pilot, so he's going to be the cool special ace pilot who goes out and deals with it when no one else can.
I mean, thus far he's proved, I would say, the least effective, but Miguel died, so, I mean...
He's not dead, so that's already better than some people, right?
Well, better than the one guy who died, sure. But I just mean that the other guys that were on the strike team got the Gundams and came back. Rao didn't when he went out.
The other ones just had to hop in. They didn't have to fight another
They
Gundam.
had to infiltrate an entire hostile territory, sneak through, set up explosives, then get to their targets, which happened to be in 2 different locations because some were being moved on a road and some were still in hangar.
But did they have 2 grenades ready to throw against the wall to escape back into space? I think not.
Actually, yes, if you recall, because this is a reimagining of literally that exact scenario. So,
Yep.
but they also had to fight their way through multiple targets on foot, then get into a badly programmed Gundam and fly it away.
Right.
Yeah, Rao failed to do any of that.
I guess we'll be on the lookout for wins by the bad guys.
We just well, most of this has been a win. They stole 4 out of 5 Gundams.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We just recently saw Operation British at the time of this recording in Origin. And now we've seen the complete destruction of Heliopolis. Nah. God damn it. I'm always going to get these Greek names wrong. But totally. Yeah. I have to say, comparing the 2 disasters, it feels like orbs in Seed are far more easy to destroy and also have more systems in place to evacuate and save its citizenry. Island Ifish felt like its evacuation points had no escape from the Banshee, and that they all focused all their defense on the docking bays because that was the only way in and out. Heliopolis had an extensive network of escape pods that I can only assume are effective as per our previous discussion. But the entire orb is held together by a central cord that holds a bunch of plates together. I kind of feel like some of the blame for the orb being destroyed in Seed can be put on the shoulders of Kira, though. We keep hearing how a lot of these weapons won't affect phase shift armor, but Kira keeps dodging. And every time he dodges, we see some vital thing get hit in the background and cause the orb to lose even more stability.
Right. I think the way that they were portraying in general is that, like, all the fighting all together eventually just kind of leads to more and more of this place, like, self-destructing. But like you were saying, like, in UC, like, we saw even more fighting inside, and, like, stuff didn't blow up quite as quickly.
Well, I mean, you could attribute some of it to, what's it called? Archangel. Because every time it fired a missile hit something vital. But,
right, having a battleship flying around inside is probably a little bit worse for everybody, right?
Well, they keep telling the guys firing, hey, make sure you don't hit the cables. And every time they fire, they fucking hit some cables. But I don't put most of the blame on them. Here, the next comment I think feeds into this.
Sure.
Despite being the villain of the scenario, given that Kira and gang are our viewpoint characters, it's interesting that Rao is the one to point out how could they allow a mobile suit to have such power after it blasts a hole in the side of the orb. Even Edes seemed shocked to watch the orb fall apart and evacuation pods being shot out in all directions. I was right through the captain guy, this guy over here, whose name I'm zoomed out so far I can't read, being shot in all directions when the fighting inside damaged the place so much as to destroy it. So my point again stands that Kira is dodging hits from another mobile suit and then firing and missing shit with his mobile suit, which is a far more effective weapon than the missile batteries on the Archangel. He's doing more damage by dodging than anybody else has done by hitting.
Yeah. And of course, like, this is a mirror to, like, the episodes over in the original UC stuff that we were seeing, where it's like he has just a battleship cannon, right? But yeah, no, like, so we're watching the UC stuff, and we've come to realization, like, the Federation, it, like, has a whole bunch of, like, really bad spots into it. They're not necessarily the good guys overall, but also they're fighting Xeon, so it makes sense. We don't know why the bad guys are bad yet necessarily here, and we don't know what the Gundam side is all about either. So we're just left with one side going, oh wow, they just built a weapon of mass destruction, huh?
Well, yeah, I
suddenly have to go, maybe these guys are worse.
I literally still have plants equals blank because I still don't know what plants are. I mean, we got naturals, we got coordinators, we have plants versus Earth, and we have zaft versus... I've forgotten. I don't have.
Plants are all space people.
I guess zaft is Earth, and this or zaft is the plants, but I don't know. Again,
If you're a space person, you're a plant.
Well, they have not said that, Griff.
I'm pretty confident that's the way that they say it in the intro.
They don't. They don't explain what plants are. You think I've gotten 4 episodes, or where we at? We're on the 4th one now? Is today?
It seems more obvious to me.
Griff, answer the question. Is today 5-6 or is today 4-5?
Today is 4-5.
Right. Do you think I've gone 3 episodes now, watching the entire thing, and left plants equals blank is the whole thing?
I mean, I don't have to think.
Well, I mean, preferably you would. Otherwise, it's just going to be more giggling. 2 episodes of giggling.
But no, like I said, that's the way I'm reading and interpreting it. It seems clear to me that they are saying plants are all space people. Coordinators are more specific space people.
They don't define coordinators versus naturals yet either. The closest they've hold on, I think I have a comment. Yeah, literally my next comment. Kira is a first-generation coordinator. His parents are naturals, which I can only guess to mean that the natural state is for coordinators to evolve from naturals. And assuming the whole Earthian Spacenoid stuff of other Gundam shows, that naturals are from Earth, and that coordinators happen from people born in space.
Yeah, I feel like I'm thinking something, but I'm not sure if it's actually a true fact. So I'm going to go ahead and actually put a pin and say, I think they are going to explain it.
If I was going to clip anything from this episode, it would be, I feel like I'm thinking something, but I'm not sure.
I'm doing it. I'm thinking.
And that's my entire thought on Earth versus space people. And not a sentence in there included anything about plants, because they don't fucking talk about it, other than the fact that it's capital PLANT, lowercase s. Which is...
Alright, what else?
And given that this is the show that acronymed Gundam, who the fuck knows if that means anything either?
People of languages and not talking.
You don't include the A if it's an and.
Damn it.
That would just be plunts. Plunts.
They added the A for style.
Planetary, land, atmospheric, nodules, tuon?
No.
I don't know. Again, they acronymed Gundam, so who the fuck knows what's at play here? And zaft,
Right.
I've already clarified how zaft is a shitty acronym too. It literally ends on treaty, but it's an organization, so it should be Zafto, which just sounds stupid too. It was a lose-lose, and they chose lose.
I just want to live in the universe where we just name things cool things because we can.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe do the Xeon thing, right? Where we're called Zaft because we're from Zaftia or something, you know? Don't make it an acronym, just make it like the common name.
Yeah, Xeon is from Xeonia. Yeah, that's right.
Well, they're from the Principality of Xeon, so they're Xeon. Right?
Alright, what else you got?
Just an observation, but it was Jewel doing the spinning zero-G bottle trick that we saw Char doing in Origin. If my guy Hardy hadn't been picked out for me, there's just something about Jewel that I like that I probably would have picked him as my character had I known. I mean, it's probably aided by the fact the picture that I grabbed for him has this cool-ass scar bisecting its fucking face.
Yeah, he's like the most emo one on the crew right there, I think. He's got like some cool vibes there.
He just screams 2000s me. That's all I'm saying. If I had...
Put him in an AMV, quick.
I say I had Rao picked for me. I picked the main bad guy, not knowing anything about the show. So,
right, yeah.
But knowing now, I'm also going to have a secondary set of eyes stuck on Jewel here to see if he does anything cool.
Clearly, we should have put you as Atheron, and just like, yeah, I'm the person I'm shouting at you the most.
Nah, I have no connection to Atheron. Especially, I don't want to be the best friend of the main character. That's your job.
Got any more?
The Archangel launch bay for the Gundam reminds me of Zoids. every time it gets launched, it gets a designated weapons package assigned and equipped to it.
Mm-hmm. Man, Zoids. I want to go back and watch Zoids at some point. That'd be fun. I'm not sure it holds up thinking back on it, but I think it would be fun.
Well, literally one of the reoccurring characters has the same voice actor as Zex Marquise.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll always remember that because it's like, who's gonna be my favorite character? That guy. I don't even know if he shares any quality, any traits with Zex. Has the same voice though.
Have your favorite voice actor and just, love them in everything they're in.
I mean, all you gotta do, Griff, is say, hey, let's put that on the poll, and I'll put Zoids on the poll.
I think there's like 3 or 4 series of Zoids too. I'll have to go through that.
I mean, why not? We're doing every Gundam series, apparently. Why not do every Gundam Tangent series as well? Because what's Zoids? What's Zoids but like G Gundam with animals, right?
Yeah.
Oh, like G Gundam has a horse, right? It literally has a horse in a Gundam.
It's got sombreros, G Gundam's crazy. We're gonna get to G Gundam one day, and we're just gonna be laughing the whole way through.
Well, I just mean it literally has a horse piloting a Gundam in the horse Gundam thing that another Gundam rides on top of. So why not?
It's so ridiculous.
I want the secondary. I want a relaunch of the G Gundam series, but not have anything to do with any of the pilots. I want the logistics and asset retention teams for all of these Gundam design groups, Like, okay, we could give your Gundam jets so it can fly, but hear me out. What if we get a horse Gundam? And like, how much is that going to cost us? What is he proposing?
The thing you want is the Office Cross G Gundam, I think. That's what we're looking at here.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we sell Gundams and Gundam accessories here, but really, I'm just kind of messing with Dwight.
Yeah.
I told him we were going to sell a horse Gundam, and he managed it somehow.
I want somebody to come down from the higher management team just to yell about how much more money it's going to cost to put armor on this Gundam if we make its head a sombrero for no good reason. And who exactly is this representing? I understand that we're not mad about this, but how does this even help us combat-wise?
It was hat day at the company, and someone brought a sombrero, and that worked our way into the design, and well, it's too late to change now.
You understand this makes us a bigger target, right? And it doesn't deflect shots. It's literally almost a 90-degree angle on this hat.
Are you saying you don't like sombrero? You don't like the Mexican people?
Well, that's a callback. That's a callback to something I've never said either. It's a callback to something someone said about me for no reason. I mean, at least
we got a whole rabbit hole here.
I mean, at least the Danish Gundam thing works out, right? Because it's all what's the most cost efficient thing for us. Well, we're never going to build one Gundam that's going to win, but maybe if we hide a bunch of Gundams all over the place, they can't take us all out. That'll be cost effective. We'll just build a bunch of cheap shit. And then at least we'll make it to the end. We won't win a single fight, but we'll have made it to the end, which makes us better than a lot.
G Gundam predicted modern day battle royale strategy. Just hide in a locker and hope nobody finds you.
Well, I mean, if you could accomplish Danish battle strategy from G Gundam, you would be Naruto. Because you need clones of yourself. Remember, every windmill apparently in Neo Denmark or whatever is a Gundam. Every one of them is a hidden Gundam just waiting for the tournament so they can get called out and win. So literally your battle royale strategy here would be shadow clone jutsu, hide in every crevice of the map.
So G Gundam is going on the list. You got any more thoughts?
No, that was the last one.
All right then. that case, let's just go ahead and go over what happened last time real quick then. We have the collapsing land, where Lieutenant Murray Ramius takes over as captain of the Archangel, and Kira and his friends are detained for seeing top-secret military weapons, while the crew of the Archangel learns that Kira is a coordinator. Raoul Cressette is determined to capture the strike after seeing how well it moved and sends out mobile suits to retrieve it. Disobeying orders, Atherin also dispatches so that he could confirm if Kira is the one piloting the strike. But when he finds his answer, Heliopolis is crumbling as it sustains too much damage. So yeah, we have the moment where the two of them both realize that they are both absolutely on the field. They used to be friends, and now they're fighting each other.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like the big drama, but everyone is at least on the ship. The ship is moving, and we're probably gonna get more fights.
Well, not
We're
everyone's
actually
on the ship.
exact same arc/moment, like with our UC stuff, where we're gonna have like the chase scenes now.
Not everyone's on the ship.
No, don't you get cute with me?
No, I'm not even being like. Even if you cut the zaft side of the concept board out, not everyone's on the ship.
Who would be missing? We have all the friends here, all the Kira people, and then everyone who's piloting the ship. That they're all on the ship.
Nope, there's one character on this board that's not on the zaft side, and I'm not being cute either. Not Miguel, not the dead guys, not other. I mean, one of these people is not on the ship. They are literally in an escape pod right now.
Oh, right. How do we get her back on the ship? I suppose that's what we'll be looking for today.
I'm assuming the bird.
I kind of thought she just happened to be on there. I completely forgot she just got shoved to the side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm assuming the bird is with everybody else. I can't remember.
Yeah, the bird is the most important character.
Well, I mean, because in the opening of the show, we literally see the bird flying through space. So who the hell knows if we just left it on Heliopolis and it's going to be flying behind Archangel or not.
Yeah. All right, then. So I think with that, let's go ahead and see the main character bird take control of the day. But in the meantime, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can go ahead and follow us over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but no pressure. It's all support the channel, just a little bit extra.
Click the link down below, join the Discord, let us know if you want us to watch G Gundam.
All this death, it's your fault.
Yeah, well, if you didn't dodge so much.
Well, good to start with some trauma, right?
Look at that, they didn't discuss anything about plants, Griff. Also, Birdie there flying out in the wreckage of Heliopolis, like I said.
For 1 second, I was actually thinking, it's like, what if one of those missiles hit the bird?
I mean, doubt it. Because mostly they're shooting at the main cable thing, often. I'm saying they're shooting at it. Literally the thing they say not to shoot at, but they're incidentally hitting the main cable thing, which seems so far out of reach of the mechanical flying bird.
I'm looking to see if there's any other cool Gundams here, or like what we're gonna see in the future.
Again, I think it's weird that the pop-up text there lists all the Gundams in like the X103 like format, but except for that one, now more confusingly assigned to Miguel, who is dead. So
maybe he gets a clone or something.
It's increasingly odd now that Miguel gets called out in the opening credit thing and has died. It was in 3 episodes.
I guess we're just kind of spoiled with shows that'll like edit their intros with every dead character, right?
Well, and it's like, why would you include him?
Because he was there for 2 episodes.
3. I just hope that I'm not going to get confused by watching Gundam Universal Century and this back to back. Like, well, where's Archangel going? I don't know, Luna 2?
We really chose him, huh?
Well, it's that we got through all of Origin to reach this point, and these 2 shows are now literally at the same point. it would be real dark if their thermo detector that's in the background of that scene just started like losing dots.
Mm-hmm.
Like the warm bodies of people that just got ejected into space, just dying, little dots going out.
Oh, that would be brutal. That's definitely like showing it without showing, you know?
Just a dark attention to detail. Oh, you asked how do we get her back? Well, the only lifeboat he rescues is gonna have her on it.
Just start shooting them at random. Maybe one of them will be a ship.
Again, he points it out too. There's a lot of heat sources among the debris, but they're quickly losing. Quickly losing them.
だな。こっちにはあの虎の子のストライクと俺のボロボロのゼロのみだ。カンもこの陣容じゃ戦闘はな。最大戦速で振り切るかい。かなりの高速艦なんだろう、こいつは。
向こうにも高速艦のナスカ級がいます。振り切れるかどう
Oh,
か。
you won't know if you try.
Well, I mean, given the name of the episode, Silent Run or whatever,
それも一つの手ではあるぜ。
doesn't seem like they're gonna go at full speed because that would be so silent.
誰がそんなこと許可した？
Well, they are in space, and as long as they start going at all, you
スト
know.
ライク起動しました。ですが、
Ah, you're such a bad
救命ポッドを
girl.
一隻保持してきています。
認められない。認められないってどういうことです？推進部が壊れて漂流してたんですよ。それをまたこのまま放り出せとでも言うんですか？避難した人たちが乗ってるんですよ。
Why do they have
すぐに救
gravity?
援艦が来る。アークエンジェルは今戦闘中だぞ。避難民の受け入れなどできるわけが。
I guess maybe he's spinning it in his hand the whole time.
Literally, he's not. We've seen it.
ここで揉めて時間を取りたくないの。
I mean, they're kind of floating around in the Archangel,
わか
right?
りました。
Like, Batgirl's not standing there; she's half floating there.
状況が厳しいのは分かっています。でも投降するつもりはありません。この艦とストライクは絶対にザフトには渡せません。我々は何としてもこれを無事に大西洋連邦司令部へ持ち帰らねばならないです。艦長、私はアルテミスへの入港を
I don't know. She's clearly standing there now, so maybe I have no fucking idea.
Hey, we got a country. Maybe.
アルテミスか。
Well, Eurasian can be anywhere, Griff. She also said Atlantic.
Yeah, so we have Atlantic, we got Eurasia.
友軍の認識コードすら持っていない状態よ。それをユーラシアが。アークエンジェルとストライクが我が大西洋連邦の
It'd be like that Gundam 00 thing. What's the most vague location you can give? I don't know, somewhere off the coast of Russia.
途中戦闘もなくすんなり行けるとは
It's everywhere.
まさか思い出はありますまい
Mhm.
物資の搬入もままならず発信した我々には早急に補給も必要です。分かってるわ。事態はユーラシアにも理解してもらえるものと思います。現状はなるべく戦闘を避け
Can't wait for Eurasia to be a space colony, not even on Earth.
本部との連絡を図るのが今最も現実的な策かと思いますが。
アルテミスね。そうこちらの思惑通りに行くかな。
でも今は確かにそれしか手はなさそうね。
I like how they have like every flight path like mapped out. They could just swap between them. That's just cute.
Sure, just like IBO. That conversation we had there. Is it in your shirt?
Yeah, you gotta keep the bird somewhere.
I mean, it's made of like metal. Can't be comfortable.
フレイ。本当にフレイアルスターこのボットに乗ってたなんて。
Oh, for a second there, I thought she was the girl from the opening. The one that's dancing around in the weird outfit thing. Weird outfit.
Yeah, I,
I don't
too
think
for a second.
I don't think I can say anything about weird outfits. That doesn't describe everybody. I don't know. In fairness, she's just wearing a pink dress. That's normal.
これは地球軍の船だよ。
Also, why are we talking like we're in a dream?
いや、だから
It's just a big echoey hangar, I suppose.
でもよかった。ここに
I don't know.
サイモンミリアリ
You take this clip out of
大
context,
丈夫だから。
you'd think this is a flashback memory. The way the music's playing and the sound echoey.
Everyone's floating, yeah. I love how he just slowly drifting. How'd you stop, man?
住民のほとんどは脱出している。さして問題はないさ。
I guess if you want to be real eccentric in Gundam, it'd be like in all these zero-G ships. God, what are those things called? The little sticks that have like you twirl them around and they got little fabric that goes around them.
I don't know what they are.
Ribbon twirling.
Okay.
You just be a character that has ribbon twirls. Right? When you're stuck floating with no momentum, ribbon twirl. Pull my weight.
We just need a lasso, yeah, space lasso.
At that point, you might as well wear Kefka, like, clown makeup.
I'm gonna do the clown makeup, I'm gonna do the mask, and I'm gonna do the cowboy hat. I'll have it all.
デコイ用意。発射と同時にアルテミスへの航路修正のためメインエンジンの噴射を行う。後は艦が発見されるのを防ぐため管制航行に移行。第2戦闘配備。艦の制御は最短時間内にとどめよう。
Don't worry, guys. I saw this on an old Earth movie. It's called The Hunt for Red October.
Darn it, I didn't see that one. I only saw up Periscope.
いや、それはないな。どこかでじっと息を殺しているのだろうよ。網を張るかな。
網ってありますか。
3番、デコイ発射。
ベサリウスは先行し、ここで敵艦を待つ。
Oh, they're doing a wild weasel.
機動面交差のコースを索敵を密にしながら追尾させろ。
Send something out that has such a high ECM footprint as to make them believe it's a ship.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, there you go.
We had a whole conversation before. Wild weasels are some of my favorite. Well, in Star Trek, they're my favorite things there, but they're actually real in real life. The wild weasel is basically the an aircraft designed to get shot at.
Yeah, draw everyone's attention, keep it away from the actual things of value.
Yeah, they've got the best patch and motto. Oh, it froze like half a second there, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was worried there too.
Rusty, huh? Yep. Rusty was the first guy to die, so I keep thinking back, because it's like, why didn't Rusty have a voice actor? Her, by the way, is what I keep talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not Flay, right?
No, I don't think so.
Unlike that pussy who pilots a white base. Just stuck in a bed now.
この関東あのモビルスーツを追ってんだろじゃあまだ追われてんのかも
えじゃあ何これに乗ってる方が危ないってことじゃないのやだちょっと
Well, no, technically, because if he didn't, he'd be dead. Vacuumed, in fact.
Well, I guess it's the difference between targeted or not, right?
私たちも無事だよな避難命令全土に出たし
Pretty sure I tied those two together.
キラーヤマト
はい
マードック軍曹が怒ってるぞ人手が足りないんだ自分の機体ぐらい自分で整備しろと
僕の機体
Who else understands it, man?
Yeah, there's quite a huge margin between Amuro and Kira here.
しょうがないだろう
For one thing, Bright seems to hate Amuro for some reason. Because this guy's more than willing to let Kira do whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
今度は乗らずにそう言いながら死んでいくか今この艦を守れるのは俺とお前だけなんだぜ
Also, Kira, who can reprogram the whole fucking Gundam in a minute, versus Amuro, who is still reading the book.
See, this is like a nice, approachable strategy to this, like, right?
But to get the kid out in the front line, because he's the only one who can control the mobile suit.
It's like, hey, you know, you maybe you can make a difference. You got time to think about it, and he's not even being pressured about it.
Well, you remember, they're doing the, oh god. I want to compare Kira right now to Kai from Universal Century.
Yeah.
Because Kai is very much angry at Amuro for his dad bringing the military there because they should be neutral because God forbid they get active in the war or whatever.
And now Kira is the one embodying that too. Yeah, like they're saying.
Yeah, Kira was like, no, I'm not going to fight even to protect ourselves because we're neutral. We should stay neutral. Well, guess what? Heliopolis is fucking exploded. There's nothing to remain neutral about anymore.
モビルスーツを動かせたって戦争ができるわけじゃない。アスランザラ出動いたしました。
ああ、入りたまえ。ヘリオポリス。
You're typing awful slow there, Rao.
君と話すのが遅れて。
Not demonstrating full coordinator powers, huh?
先の戦闘では申し訳ありませんでした。
I mean, comparatively.
話は聞いておきたい。あまりにも君らしからぬ行動だからな。
Yeah, remember he ran out in a mobile suit when he was told not to.
あの機体が起動した時も君はそばにいたな。
Time for the court martial, really, but
思いもかけぬことに動揺し、報告ができませんでした。あの最後の機体、あれに乗っているのはキラヤマト、月の幼年学校で友人だったコーディネーターです。
ほう。
まさかあのような場で再会するとは思わず、どうしても確かめたくて。
そうか。戦争とは皮肉なものだ。君の動揺も仕方あるまい。
I would assume then that that school belonged to Zaft or the plants.
we'll find out when we get to the moon, I guess.
Well, it seems more likely that Atherin attended a place belonging to his faction, and that Kira left wherever they were.
キラはあいつはナチュラルにいいように使われているんです。優秀だけどぼーっとしてお人よしだからそのことにも気づいてなくて。
Yeah, that seems like him actually.
私は説得したいんです。あいつだってコーディネーターなんだ。こちらの言うことがわからないはず
Yeah,
は
we
ありません。
coordinates gotta stick together, am I right?
君の気持ちはわかる。だが聞き入れないと。
Notice how no one's using the word plant, though, Griff.
その時は
Other than Rao's desk, apparently.
大型の熱量感知戦艦のエンジンと思われます。距離200イエロー33
Did they say wasp?
I don't think so.
It's a large heat source detector. I believe it's something. I thought the word they saw was wasp.
目標本艦を追い抜きます。艦特定ナスカ級です。
先回りしてこっちの頭を押さえるつもりだぞ。
ローラシア級は待ってください。
To be fair, as another ship in a combat zone, being in front of you to stop your attacks seems like the worst way to stop attacks.
What they really want to do is intercept, like they were saying in their plan earlier.
Well, I mean, I would want to be in front of you to stop your escape, not your attacks. That's like I'm gonna stop your fist with my face. Sorry? What was that complaint?
Time to yell at the kid to get into the suit.
Yeah, it seems like you should command him to go to the hangar bay, not the bridge.
Hey Kira, remember all those people you wanted to save? They're about to die. What would you like to do about that? See, these kids get their situation way faster than Kira, I think.
But nowhere near as fast as the UC guys. Those people.
Oh yeah, no, they're just like straight into the seats immediately.
Well, it's because everybody else is fucking injured. They're like, oh, here, let me help you with that.
Yeah.
These guys are still below deck trying to figure out their motives. Also took time to change our clothes and the uniforms that we got from somewhere.
And inconvenient kid size too.
I appreciate that what's her name there is still wearing the dress that she was wearing before underneath the outfit that she just put on. because you can see
Also
it.
convenient pink uniform.
Well, you can see it sticking out underneath the hem of the uniform.
私たちだってできることをして
We gave all the boys pants, but we had no pants for the girl.
チャンドラさん
I'm sorry. Somebody rolled the D20?
Yes, the Space D20.
地球軍の新型艦ついに捕捉できぬまま来てしまいましたが
頭は抑えたここで仕留めるさ
180度回答相対速度アルテミスに合わせ微速更新
That's a nice little show of how velocity works, I guess.
Yeah, no, I love maneuvers like that.
その格好は
大尉が言ったんでしょう今この船を守れるのは僕とあなただけだって戦いたい
At least you're wearing the right colors in the overlay.
この船は守りたいみんな乗っているんですから
俺たちだってそうさ意味もなく戦いたがるやつなんざそうはいない戦わなきゃ守れねえから戦うんだ
That seems like bad logic.
It's just the classic anime I fight for my friends, you know?
Well, if we don't fight, we can't protect. Right, but if everybody doesn't fight, what are you protecting from?
また君も来るのかこの船を
We gotta preemptively fight in order to protect against the other people who are preemptively fighting. Where did you get your bits back from?
Yeah, didn't he drop those off?
No, they got all fucking destroyed. And then Rao
they had
just
extra.
and then Rao like chopped the gun bit off of his actual main fighter bit. Well, that would be impossible in space. La Flaga.
2分後にメインエンジン始動ストライク発進準備
What weapons package will we launch you with today?
大尉が隠密先行して前の敵を撃つその間僕は後方の敵から艦を守るうまくいくのかな
But they're in front of you.
ミリアリア
以後私がモビルスーツおよびモビルアーマーの戦闘管制となりますよろしくね
I know that I've never been to the academy, plus have no military rank whatsoever. But I'm
Hey,
pretty
you
sure
know-
I can read this readout thing.
Their options are zero, you know?
アークエンジェルが孵化したらあっという間に敵が来るぞリーダー
はい
I don't know, Griff. At some point, your options are 0 or worse than 0,
特装砲発射
right?
目標
We don't have any trained, nuclear technicians to run this nuclear power plant. I guess the kid is better than 0. No. I think that's worse.
前方より熱源接近その後方に大型の熱量感知戦艦です
回避行動
こちらに気づいて慌てて撃ってきたか
I guess Arin is our Dren of this series.
熱源感知
A little bit.
モビルスーツ隊発進させ
Well, he holds the exact same position. And does just about as much as Dren
先の
does.
言葉信じるぞアスランザラ
At least Rao seems a little bit more willing to like be full in command. Rather than like pretending he's not.
Well, I think he's in command of the mission. I think he's over Arin.
機影1です
艦長お願いキラヤマトストライク
They said his rank before, but I don't remember what it was.
了解
I do love the shadows like slowly pulled back. That's just like a good little piece of animation overall.
Appreciate it now. Because when we go back to the 70s, you're not going to get like shadows.
今この艦を守れるのは俺とお前だけなんだぜ
お前にばっか戦わせて守ってもらってばっかじゃな
こういう状況なんだもの私たちだって
キラヤマトガンダム行きます
There we go, right as the outro's playing.
I guess my thing here is I like the world build. Well, I can't say the world building because I still don't know what a fucking planet is. I like the setup, right?
Mhm.
I like the setup because the main emphasis of the first 3 episodes was pretty hard hitting. Like, this is serious. People's lives are in danger. Whatever. But I'm not, like, all that taken in by our main group of kids.
Right. We did just spend like an entire episode just focusing on like, here they are, here's their motivation for why they're choosing to do this. And like it feels like perfectly rational. Nobody's like doing anything like that's ridiculous, right? This is all pretty straightforward, yeah.
Oh, she's Atherin's girlfriend, huh?
Yeah.
決意したこと、それはそれぞれの正義。分かたれたわけを知る由もなく、少年たちは道を選ぶ。無音の闇を切り裂く砲火の前に叫ぶキラとアスランの声は虚しくすれ違い、新たな記憶を刻む。次回機動戦士ガンダムシードフェーズシフトダウン。この空を駆け抜けろ。
Cool, more phase shift shit.
Yeah.
I mean, if they had explained it at all, at least maybe I could get my teeth sunk into it. But no, the point I was getting at before is, like, comparatively to the UC stuff that this is supposed to be better than or improving upon.
Yeah.
Those kids, like, they were in an emergency situation. They rush out to try and help people. They rush to get the people on the ship. They go to the positions, and they're not like, oh, I'm taking command of this station. There's like an injured guy who would be at the station. He's like, okay, you push these buttons to do this. Oh, no, yeah, Commander, they're picking up on it pretty quickly. And they're like, we'll do things slowly to make sure you don't make any mistakes, but we're going to have to do this as fast as we possibly can. They're like taking it in like it's a real situation.
Right, they have like a bit more of a dramatic moment of trying to figure it out. Here, the kids are doing more drama and like figuring out their motives to do so when they don't necessarily have to because they recognize they're kids. They're just in a dangerous situation.
Well, yeah, I just don't. I dig the UC approach a lot more because it's very much people in an emergency situation versus the kids. God, I don't think we should give up our neutrality. But are we even neutral now? Because they had our Earth Force weapons and were hidden on our place. Yeah, but I don't really want to participate more. That's okay. You're not really fighting. You're protecting. And it's like, oh God, this is just, you know. What are we doing? Is all I'm saying.
If I were to go ahead and like search my brain, I think the thing that like I remember sticking out the most to me as the part I liked the least when I was watching originally was a bit of exactly that, right? They spend a lot of time, they waffle on it a lot. Kira's gonna be like whining a fair bit in the future, is what I remember. But the action's cool.
Right. I guess this is the point where most people say that why they just like the characters or something. Well, I don't know. There's been nothing so far to indicate to me that Kira Jesus Yamato is a problem, right? It's just that he's very indecisive. And I guess that is a trait common amongst Gundam protagonists.
I think Atherin put it best. Like he's not really much about thinking. He could be pretty easily pressured, and we're literally seeing that in action, right?
I just think that I prefer characters that are a bit more. I don't even know if I need them to be decisive. I just need them to make decisions quickly. Like I don't need them to be like, I have this one trait, and it's always gonna be that. I just need them to be like, oh shit, I'm getting attacked. I better get in the fucking mobile suit. You know?
I mean, I guess if you want that, you're looking for Gundam Wing, right? Because those are the characters that I think will immediately get into their mobile suit and go like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know why I'm doing it, and I'm gonna do it.
You're wrong.
Every other Gundam protagonist is way more like Amuro, way more like Kira here. They're way more interested in figuring out why they are bothering to do so.
I think you're wrong because we get plenty of like self-reflection and self-harm with the Gundam
Yeah.
wing pilots. I think maybe what's his name? Who pilots Death Scythe?
Not Quattro.
It's not
Max.
Troa. It's not Troa. There's nobody named Max. There's Maxwell. But that's Duo Maxwell. Okay, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, there was a Max in there.
Well, Maxwell, but that's his last name too. You don't call them somebody by part of their last name unless you have a weird nickname system going on. Anyway,
Yeah, the weirdest in the galaxy.
he is like the exception to that rule. I think he jumps into. I think he's supposed to be like the American point of view because he's very much like a kid from Detroit gets into Gundam. That's what he feels like to me anyway.
Okay, I'm totally writing that story. I want kid from Detroit gets a Gundam is just like, oh no, they popped the tires on my Gundam. Can't have shit in Detroit.
But yeah, no, I'm just
Oh,
being. I just wish like. I'm tired of Gundam protagonists that are like, I'm so torn by my emotions that I won't protect myself or I won't proactively try to help a situation because I'm torn by the ethical dilemmas. Nobody is torn by the ethical dilemma of what they're doing until they're done doing it. That's when you get torn up by it. That's like the soldier problem, right? Is I came back from the war and now I can't stop thinking about all of the people that I either killed or could have saved or all of my men that died around me. You know, that sort of shit.
Gundam is definitely way less about the PTSD of people and more about the action of doing it, right?
Right, but it shouldn't be. I mean, it's about the horrors of war, right? But you have to take part in the horrors to know that they're horrible. Yeah, I don't.
Their whole place blew up. At least we got that.
It's not entertaining to watch somebody think about how horrible a thing is and not do it. Right? Maybe get out there first and then do the stare down thing, right? Like, oh, okay, I immediately ran to the mobile suit and I flew out into space. And then do the Amuro thing if I can't shoot a person. Mobile suits are like giant toys. I can shoot at a giant toy, but that's definitely a dude. And I've never watched somebody die before. Well, no.
Not only am I not going to directly shoot a person because I can visualize killing a person, I'm also not going to shoot them in the back, right? Like for Amuro, that was like a pretty decisive character moment, right?
Well, I don't know about
for Kira here, like he's been pretty on board with just like straight up fighting constantly, even though he is like wondering if he should.
He's not been on board at all. He literally had to get kind of forced into it. He very much was the whole I will fight you to remain neutral, which is the stupidest shit. And again, it's the part that I hate the most about Side 7 and now Heliopolis of their look, I will beat the shit out of you if you try to get us into this war. I will kill everybody I have to kill until we're not in the war. Their stringent desire for neutrality at the cost of everything else is such a horrible thing.
I'm going to go ahead and say I do think we're going to end up with a lot more of these like pacifist dialogues like later on is what's going to happen. We're going to see him like trying to vouch for that.
Okay, well, a quick clarification. If they did that sort of thing, like the Zangt Nation in Wing?
Yeah.
That would be a different thing. That would be a whole we believe in pacifism so we're not fighting sort of stance. But Side 7 doesn't say that. Heliopolis isn't saying that. They're just, we don't want to be in the war. That's all they're saying. And we know both of those scenarios are also fucking hypocritical, because they're storing weapons for the other side. They're literally the argument in any wartime scenario where we bomb a place and they're like, you bombed civilians, but those civilians were holding like terrorists or arms storage. They're hiding behind things. Well, you can't do that because then you're not a civilian target anymore. You might as well be next door to the munitions factory. You're gonna get hit.
So, I guess the thing to take away from today is don't live next to the munitions factory, and I guess that's where we're going to go ahead and end it for today. This has been a Stone-Faced Reactions, everybody. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we will catch you next time. See you around. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?